So as you can see in this graph, the line AB, which is a straight line, that is known as DC load line. Okay, what is that? It is known as DC load line. This DC load line is drawn to fix the Q point in the feasible region of operation. Understood? What is that line AB known as? It is known as DC load line. So in this characteristic graph, we are plotting or we are marking the points A and B conveniently and joining these 2 points to get the DC load line. So now we are discussing how we should draw this particular DC load line AB in this characteristic graph. So once you get this VGS versus ID plot, next thing is you need to fix the Q point somewhere in the middle of the DC load line. Understood? What we have to do is initially we have to plot VGS versus ID. That is how the drain current is changing with respect to VGS. So that we have to take measurement and we have to plot the graph. The graph will be in this particular shape. You know that this graph, why initially the ID is not appreciably high, because VGS is very small. It has not even reached the threshold. See, in this particular region, you can see the ID is very small. There is no drain current. But whenever you increase VGS to a larger value, you can see your graph or the amount of drain current that is driven through the device, it is increasing. Isn't it? There is a linear increase in this curve. So that shows that you have applied a sufficient gate voltage which is greater than the required threshold. Okay. So that is what is being plotted in this graph. So once you got these two graphs, okay, what is these two graphs? Why did you plotted these two graphs? Because due to some device replacement or due to some aging, we are trying to calculate two different scenarios. Understood? And we are trying to fix or trying to predict whether the Q point has shifted or not, or whether the Q point is in the same point wherever we have fixed. So like that, we have to judge. Okay, so for that only we have taken two different graphs in two different scenarios. Now, once you plot these two graphs, the next our attempt is to load this, I mean, draw this line. Okay, this line is known as, this line AB is known as DC load line, and somewhere this DC load line will get intersect or it will get connected with this particular graph. Understood? DC load line, somewhere it will get overlap with respect to these two curves. So at that overlapping point only, you are marking this ID1, ID2, and corresponding to this ID1 and ID2 in x-axis, you have marked VGS1 and VGS2. Understood? So obviously, this is going to be the Q point for the first case, and this is going to be the Q point for the second case. So you can see a change in Q point with respect to small change in ID1, ID2, and a corresponding change in VGS1 and VGS2. Okay. But we, for calculating this Q point shift, we need to draw this DC load line. So how we are going to draw the DC load line? To draw the DC load line, we need to get the point coordinate A as well as coordinate B. You can see this coordinate A lies in y-axis. Any point that is lying in y-axis have an x coordinate equal to 0. Isn't it? The basic fundamental. Any point that is lying in y-axis is having a 0 as the x coordinate. Similarly, any point that is lying in x-axis will have a 0 coordinate in the corresponding to y-axis. Okay, that you know, isn't it? Now, to get this point A, which lies in y-axis, we need to take this equation. This equation already you know. In the previous class, in the morning class, we have discussed. EG is your gate voltage. So whenever you give this particular gate voltage, this is a fixed battery voltage. Okay, you have to give a fixed constant battery voltage. So that will be splitting into two different components. One is VGS, second one is the drop across RS. What is the voltage drop across RS? It is nothing but IDRS. This is the junction voltage, that is VGS. So this is basically the KVL equation we got from that particular loop. Okay. Now, with respect to this equation only, we are getting the point A as well as B. First, I will try to get the point A. To get point A, what we have to set? Anybody? Anybody? To get the coordinate corresponding to A or this point, what we need to substitute in this particular equation? I told you A lies in, I'll get a clue for you. The point A lies in y-axis. So what you have to do? The point A lies in y-axis means the x-axis parameter is 0. Pranay, can you guess? You need to calculate a point corresponding to y-axis. So correspondingly, you need to put x-axis as 0. So what you have to do? Anybody then? Pranay can answer. If you know the answer, you can speak out.
No, sir, I'm just trying, sir.
Trying. See, I'll give a clue for you. You are trying to
Okay.
find a point A. You are trying to find this point A in y-axis. Any point in y-axis means x-axis should be 0, isn't it? X coordinate of the particular point should be 0 only.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So to calculate this point A with respect to this equation, what you have to do? You are calculating A. So to calculating A, the y-axis should be 0. I mean, x-axis should be 0 because A lies in y-axis. So you think about this x-axis and tell me the answer. You are going to calculate a parameter corresponding to y-axis. So for that, what you have to do is you have to set the parameter in x-axis as 0. So simply you can put a 0 value to one parameter, and which is that parameter. Okay, then you see in the graph, what is a parameter that is plotted in x-axis?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you tell me what is a parameter that is plotted in x-axis in the graph.
X-axis.
This is
Okay. Now it's clear.
horizontal axis is the x-axis. Vertical axis is the
Sir,
y-axis.
we have VGS1, VGS2, and
Yeah,
VG.
VGS1, VGS2 and all, it is coordinates. I mean, it is intermediate points. What about the axis? In the axis, which parameter you are plotting? See, VGS. Yeah,
VGS.
VGS. So this is the x-axis parameter. ID is the y-axis parameter. Understood? So to get any
Okay.
y-axis parameter, you have to set x-axis parameter as 0. So you are putting VGS equal to 0. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now you will put VGS as 0. So the equation becomes VG equal to IDRS. VG equal to IDRS. So from this you can calculate ID. So ID is equal to VG divided by RS. So you have to take RS to left side, rearrange, and you will get ID equal to VG by RS. Now what you will do is, second case, you will be finding y-axis parameter. So as of now, you got x-axis parameter. This is the drain current corresponding to the point A. See, I have marked this parameter in this graph. ID equal to VG by RS. How did you get this point? By substituting VGS as 0 in this equation, and from this we calculated ID equal to VG by RS. So that is what is mentioned in point A. Now coming to point B. Point B lies in x-axis. Now, Bhavani, you have to answer. Now here we are trying to find the point B. So what you have to do? Again, I will get a clue for you. Any parameter that is lying in x-axis, we need to find. For that, correspondingly, the y-axis parameter to be 0.
0.
Yeah. So what you have to do in this equation? This is the equation you have. So which parameter you will put 0 here? You are finding x-axis because you are finding B. B lies in x-axis. In the x-axis, you are plotting VGS. So we are trying to find VGS only. For that, y-axis need to be 0. So which parameter is plotting in y-axis?
So is it IDRS, sir?
Yeah, it is
ID, sir.
ID, not IDRS. In y-axis, we are plotting ID. Okay.
ID.
Yeah. So ID should be 0. Okay. So when ID
So,
equal
but if ID is 0, anything multiplied by 0 would be 0, no, sir?
yes, yes. Correct, correct. Good, good, good. So when ID equal to 0 means IDRS will be 0. So as far as this equation is concerned, this IDRS is getting 0. We are, as such, we are not keeping IDRS 0. Okay. The logic is we are placing y-axis parameter as 0. ID is 0. So indirectly IDRS is becoming 0. When IDRS is becoming 0 means what is VGS? What is VGS? VGS will become,
VG.
yeah, that is what is shown here. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir.
So we got A and we got B. Then just join these two lines. Then that is known as DC load line. So this line is known as DC load line. How did you got this line? From this equation, initially I put VGS equal to 0, then find the ID, then I put ID equal to 0, and then I find VGS. So these two are the points corresponding to A and B. And after finding A and B, I just have joined the 2 points to get the DC load line. Now I am going to find the slope of this particular line. You know that every line, it may have slope or it may not have slope. What do you mean by slope actually? Assume that a ladder is there. If the ladder is more slope or it is having more slope means what does it difficult to climb or it is easy to climb? Just a logic. Because I want to explain what is the relation between the slope of this DC load line and the Q point stability. So for that only I have asked this question. What happens if slope of an area increases? Is it difficult to climb that particular surface or it is very easy to climb if slope increases? Just general question I'm asking. Pawan can answer, I think. Pawan. Simon. Consider a mountain. A mountain is having some slope. There are 2 mountains like M1 and M2. M2 is more slope. M2 is having more slope. Means it is difficult to climb or easy to climb. What it is?
Difficult to climb, sir.
Okay. Now I'll go to this. This is the equation for a line y equal to mx plus c. Means a line is nothing but it is a locus that is joining x coordinate and y coordinate. So for that you are having x-axis, y-axis, and the slope is m. The slope of the particular line is m, and you have some constants over here plus c. Okay, don't bother about those things at all. Now this is a basic equation. Now what I will do is I have this equation with me. 1 Vg equal to Vgs plus IDRS. Now this equation I'm going to rewrite in second format. This is the format what we want, because only after writing this equation in this format, then only we will get the exact slope of the line whatever we have drawn as of now. Just now we have drawn one line. That line is known as what? Pranay, what is that line known as? Just now we had drawn one line connecting the points A and B. Know what is that line known as?
Load line.
Load line. So
Okay, load line. Okay.
yeah, so that load line will have a slope. Okay, so I am trying to explain you how you have to find that slope, because slope is going to predict the stability of the Q point. Slope can be more or slope can be less. So I want to convey you whether you need to maintain more slope or whether you need to maintain less slope. So for that only, we are converting our loop equation in second equation format. Second equation is the format, conventional format of a line. Now from you people, I want to know how you can rearrange our equation. This is our equation. Okay. In this equation, which is our y? Can anybody tell which is our y? In this equation, which is our y? I will get a clue for you. Y is nothing but a parameter that is plotted in y axis. So you can easily tell the answer.
ID, sir.
Yes, good, good. So y is id. So you are trying to keep this term in LHS because here in the second equation you are having y in left hand side. Okay, so you are supposed to keep this IDRS in left side. So IDRS is equal to VG minus VGS. Hope you got it. You are keeping IDRS as such equal to, you take VGS to the other side. So the equation becomes IDRS is equal to VG minus VGS, and take RS to the right side. So the equation can be rearranged in this format. Any doubts? How did you get this equation? Just rearranging
No,
this
sir.
equation. Why you kept id in the other side of the equation? Because you are
Y.
interested in this equation y equal to mx plus c. Now what you will do is, I will divide this rs into two. I mean, separately I will be dividing because this is a common denominator now. So I'll take this rs to vg, as well as I will take this rs along with the vgs, so that now my equation becomes id is equal to vg by rs. This is rs. This is not rc, it is rs. vg by rs minus vgs by rs, or minus 1 by rs into vgs. Now I'm trying to compare these two equations, 2 and 3. And from this equation, which is our x? Can anybody tell which is our x? From this equation, which is our x? Means something which we have plotted in x-axis. What is that? What we have?
VGS, sir.
VGS. So this is our x, this is our y. So the one parameter that is coming along with the x, that is what is m. Now Bhavani told that this is x and this is y. So the parameter that is coming along with x, obviously it is our m. So what is m here? What is m here? As far as equation 3 is concerned, what is our m?
Minus 1 by RS, sir.
Yes. So m is minus 1 by rs. That is what is known as slope of our DC load line. Okay. Just now we have plotted the load line and I have calculated the slope of that line, and that slope is equal to minus 1 by rs. Now, what is the significance of minus symbol? Slope can be positive or it can be negative. See, as far as our line is concerned, DC load line is concerned, see here the line is decreasing. It is, I mean, linearly decreasing now. So it will be having a negative. If it is like this, means it will be positive. Like if it is going like this, means it will be having a negative direction. This is negative slope actually. So why we got negative? Now, what happens if RS increase? What happens if RS increases? So as of now, we have calculated the slope. Now I wanted to tell or wanted to convey what happens if slope increases or decreases. Case 1. Suppose RS is very large. Then your slope is less. Understood? Your slope is less, or your line, I mean DC load line is less steep that you can see. Understood? Because this is inversely proportional. M is inversely proportional to Rs. As far as this equation is concerned, M is inversely proportional to Rs. So if you are increasing Rs, the slope M is decreasing, means your line is less steep. Now imagine a ladder like this. This is your vertical wall. This is your ladder. The ladder has been, what to say? It is being leaned on this particular vertical wall. Suppose the slope is less. How did you made the slope less? Rs is small. Okay. So slope less means whether this line or whether this ladder will shift towards left or towards right. I mean, it will come downward or it will come upward. What will happen? That you convey me. You understood my question. Once again, I'll repeat. I am trying to increase Rs. I'm taking large value of Rs. Obviously, the slope is becoming less. Slope less means this line is becoming less steep. Less steep. You just recollect the word less steep. Means, what does it mean? Whether this line will come downward or whether the line will come upward.
So less steep means line will come downward, sir.
Very good, very good. Fine, good, good. And imagine if it comes downwards, means whether this change is appreciably larger or the change is negligibly smaller.
So change is larger.
Is it? You just imagine, see if this comes down, if this comes down, this
So it'll be closer. It'll be closer.
yeah, it will be closer only. No, the difference between
Yeah.
ID1, ID2, VGS1, VGS2 will be closer means change is small.
Close.
Yeah.
Yes.
So change is small. So if change is small means Q point change is not at all big. It is good only, isn't it? The Q point is
Yes, sir.
trying to be in the stable point. So in a good way, we need to maintain Rs at a larger value. So that is what is the importance of source resistance. Actually, when you try to increase the source resistance, there is more feedback action, negative feedback action or the degeneration action is more, so that it will not allow the drain current to change in a drastic way, or your Q point will remain in the stable position wherever you have biased it initially or wherever you have fixed it initially. Assume that Rs is small because of some mathematical mistakes or because of some logical mistakes. You have fixed a low resistance source Rs. Then what will happen? Can anybody explain in the opposite way? What happens if you have taken a small Rs?
Slope will increase, sir.
Correct. Good. When you have taken Rs as very small, your slope will increase. Slope increase means your DC load line is more steep now. So your ladder will shift upwards. No, this point 8 will shift out upwards. Again, what will happen to this point B? If A shift upwards means B shift towards left or right? Anybody? If A shift upwards means what will happen to B? Just imagine
So
a
it will
ladder.
shift downward, sir.
No, if A shift upwards, see, Bhavani told that this DC load line will shift upwards. That is fine. If it is shifting upwards means what will happen to this change? This change. If this is becoming, if ID is, shifting to upper side, obviously this B is shifting to left side, isn't it? The length of the ladder is constant only, right? So B will be shifting
Yes.
to left side. So this change is getting more. Okay, if this particular DC load line, if it is shifting upwards, means the change between ID1 and ID2, VGS1 and VGS2 is more, which means that your Q point is unstable, or wherever you have fixed the Q point initially, it has been moved out from the saturation region. Maybe it would have gone to triode region, that will affect your amplification. What happens if the Q point moves to the triode region? What will happen? Amplification will not work properly. Okay, some sort of clipping off will takes place. Suppose if I'm addressing a large gallery, I have designed an amplifier for me, but unfortunately its Q point is not stable. Means if I'm trying to raise my input, maybe I will give some inputs at this particular time. At another point of time, I will be giving another input because voice is unpredictable. No? You have certain dynamics in terms of amplitude, frequency, phase, etc. for your voice. It is continuously varying time. So its features will be changing. So depending upon its features, what happens is the output of the amplifier may also change. But that output, it should not go beyond a particular level such that it will be clipped off. Means when the voice output voice clips off means it will not uh, produce out of the loudspeaker. The loudspeaker will not be able to produce that sound towards a public. Understood? So we won't be able to hear the entire voice, whatever you have spoken through the microphone or mic, whatever name. Understood? So carefully we have to fix the Q point, or the change in Q point should be negligibly small. So for that, ideally we have to keep RS as high. RS value should be very high so that the slope should be less, so that Q point will be stable. Now I want you students to uh, read these 2 points. Read those 2 points. Okay, I hope it is clear. So that is with respect to second biasing technique. Okay, these you can leave. Now I'm going to third biasing technique. Yeah, this is the third bias technique. Now, our intention of biasing is to make the Q point stable. First biasing technique, whatever we have discussed, it is rarely used or it has got its own disadvantage. The disadvantage is that due to some external temperature variations, your Q point is not getting constant or it is not stable. It is always moving. Okay. It will not be stable wherever you have fixed at one particular point of time. Second biasing technique. The second biasing techniques only you have incorporated the source resistance with the help of a battery VG. Okay, so in that particular case, the source resistance is very good for you because if you are taking a large value of source resistance, its degeneration action is quite good and it is eliminating the variations of ID. If ID is trying to increase, later on it is getting decreased because of this degeneration action. That is what we have claimed mathematically also. Mathematically, I have proved, or graphically, I have proved, isn't it? I have drawn the graph VGS versus ID. Then I have drawn the DC load line. Then I found the slope of the DC load line and it was -1 by RS. Then I explained when RS increases, the slope decreases and the variation of ID1, ID2, VGS, VGS2 is very small, which means the Q point is appreciably, it is not so much. That is what we have mentioned in case 2. Now coming to case 3. Case 3 or the third type of biasing, it is nothing but biasing using a drain to gate feedback resistor. What is that? It is a biasing technique that is making use of drain to gate feedback resistor. Means we are connecting a resistance in between the drain and gate. Understood? What we are doing? We are trying to fix a drain resistance between the gate and the resistance between the gate and drain. That is what is known as drain to gate feedback resistance. So At that particular case, we have VG is equal to VD because we are connecting the gate and drain together. Okay, we are connecting the gate and drain together. So I will, yeah, and take this particular graph for you, this particular circuit for this. Okay, so this is actually the biasing technique where I have employed the gate to drain feedback resistor. Understood? So in between gate and in between drain, you're having a resistance RG. And the ideal property of this MOSFET is that it is having an input high infinite input resistor. Means your gate terminal, it is associated with the oxide layer, which is again an insulator. Yesterday we have discussed about the constructional features, day before yesterday, isn't it? So in the constructional features, we have discussed about the use of oxide layer uh, beneath this gate terminal. So that is actually acting as an insulator, or it will offer a high input resistance to this MOSFET. Because of that, your input current is going to be very small or very less, or it can be considered as zero. Ideally, IG is zero. So if there is no current means, what is the potential difference? Suppose through a resistance, if there is no current, anybody, if there is no current through a resistance, then what is the potential difference? You just think about the Ohm's law and say.
Zero, sir.
Correct. Good. So if current is zero means there is no potential difference. Voltage is zero. V is proportional to I, isn't it? So if I is equal to zero means there is no V. So there is no difference means the drain voltage is same as that of gate voltage. So VD is equal to VG as of now. That particular case I have written here. See, VG is equal to VD. How did you arrive at this particular conclusion? VG is equal to VD because VG is equal to 0. That is what I have mentioned here. Now read this particular sentence carefully and try to understand. So since IG is equal to 0, VG is equal to VD. Hope you have understood that. Because there is no potential difference, whatever the voltage available at the drain, it will be same as that of the gate. Now I will go for this equation. VDS is equal to VDD minus IDR. How you have written this equation? This is like applying KVL in the output side. In the earlier version, we have written the KVL equation with respect to the input side, but now I am writing the equation with respect to output side. Here,